Hi, everybody. So I think,
Hello.
hey, looks like half our usual crew, so people will just come in. But so I just kind of formalized things on the agenda to make it more to kind of fit the town needs. So first, does anybody have anything that needs to be on the agenda that isn't for today? Otherwise, we'll just go through our usual topics. Cool. So we're just going to go through the usual topics, and then we'll do towards the end, anybody who wants to stay for the like more formal piece of process and stuff at the end is totally welcome. But so Gary, emergency management update.
Don't really have anything new. Just want to thank everybody for all the hard work they put in to help make the community safe.
Cool. Thanks, Gary. I know I saw Dan and I don't know if I saw Ryan. Dan did. Oh yeah, Ryan. Did you have any updates you wanted to share?
I do not.
Okay, cool. Awesome. I do know just one thing that Ryan Terrell after last week's meeting just asked me to share that the burn ban was lifted for the town. So that's on Facebook. And if it's not I'll just check with Ryan Terrell if he put it on the listserv, because I can just dump it on the listserv too for the contact information for burn permits. So communicate.
Could I just jump?
Yeah.
Could I jump in real quick? What Ryan said is correct. The burn ban has been lifted, but before people can burn brush, they still need to contact someone in the fire department and get approval.
Totally.
Just want to make sure people understand.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, he put out the information for the permit, who to contact. Communications. I don't think I have anything in particular. The yard signs, we got those over the weekend, so a volunteer is going to go around town and put those around. We tried to identify popular intersections, and then we just need to make sure that he keeps them off of the out of the right of way, and just asks for permission if it's somebody's property. I think that's it though. Oh, actually, Ted, there's a number of people, particularly on South Road, that I've been hearing that did not get the town mailing, and I don't know if I should check with like the post office, or it seemed like they were right in the middle of South Road, so there's definitely a Bradford addresses.
I'm mystified by that. I had not heard that, and I can't imagine why those weren't delivered. I can ask some folks at the town office, but I'm guessing that, it was a townwide mailing, so it might have been something that the post office did incorrectly. I'm not sure.
Okay, cool. And then on volunteer coordination, just that we've got, I sent an email to all of the volunteers that are signed up. I think I have 86 right now. And we've just been continuing to meet on Fridays as far as the like team leads go. I think everybody was excited to be able to start doing stuff. So the energy on Friday's call was good. We just have the information around town. And then starting to pull together, I was trying to actually put together some talking points for volunteers when they reach out to people when that starts happening. But other towns like Corinth actually sent around their scripts this morning. So I'm just gonna use that and save some work. So the coordination with other towns has been great because everybody's just sharing the resources, so we're not recreating stuff. Let's see. And town, state government, Ryan? Go ahead, Justina.
Sorry, I was just gonna say that I have the posters for grocery pickup done. I'll be putting those in Kinney and Bliss and the post office, and then getting the other ones to you, Monique, so those can go out in and Hanover. Cool,
thank you. So those are just posters that give the hotline number and just say if you need assistance with groceries, we have volunteers to help, basically. Cool. Town and state government, Ryan?
The select board met last Thursday to ratify the vote to make Bradford Resilience an official town committee as an arm underneath their emergency management department. So we are over that hurdle now. And I don't really have anything else for town. I think I just saw Sarah jump on if she has any state updates.
Hi, all. We have just a couple quick state updates. We have ratified the new rules that will allow the House to continue to meet and pass legislation remotely. And so when you're looking at this Zoom call with 20 or so people on it, imagine a Zoom call with 150 plus. It can get kind of zooey, and it certainly makes for a very slow process, but it also makes it fairly open and accessible to anyone who wants to watch, because it's streamed as a YouTube feed, so you can follow the proceedings of the House as well as any committee that you might be inclined to follow. So we are concentrating on COVID relief legislation, responding to the needs of our emergency services personnel to try to get them a little bit of relief from some of the training costs to recruit new emergency service folks, and also allowing sheriff's departments to access some county reserve funding in the event that they have budget shortfalls due to either increased demand from COVID-19 or loss of contracts from COVID-19. So not a whole lot of general legislation being considered. Is mostly still emergency response legislation.
Cool. Thanks, Sarah. Ted, did you have anything additional you wanted to add for town stuff?
No, really, nothing new. Which I guess no news is good news in this case.
I know. I told Ron I felt a little bit bad that this call, like, it was really quick the last few weeks, and I was like, oh, we didn't really have updates. I hope I'm not wasting time. But I think the few updates we did have are still good to be communicated to everybody. So, cool. Food access, Ashleen.
Yeah. So I've connected with Topsum and Groton. And the Topsum food shelf is now, they have a fridge and freezer section, and they are doing prepared meals, both frozen and I guess refrigerated, that folks can go there and receive those meals. It's open right now. Most of the food shelves that I've spoken to, they do not have restrictions to access. I'm in the midst of creating a document that has, Ryan is on that, and Ryan and Mike Reedier from Stagecoach are on that document to kind of see what's going on, but if it's helpful, we can share it further. I'm planning on putting it on Facebook so that folks know the updated times and access to the different food shelves. Of course, they are trying to keep people who are in their region, so if you live in that town, you access that food location and try not to go too far, but they're not turning folks away. And it does sound like they are pretty well stocked with different things.
Cool. Thanks, Ashleen. Ryan, did you have any updates from Hannaford? I don't know if anything has changed in the last week.
Yeah, so we have a few more safety precautions from the employee side that Governor Scott has mandated. We're going to be using sort of like an infrared thermometer to take people's temperatures before they can be allowed to work. We're going to have to close all our meeting spaces and break rooms and stuff so people can, our associates can observe the 6-foot rule. But from the store side, our company is pushing to get things back to normal as quickly as possible. We're going to start being open till 9 p.m. in 2 weeks. we're seeing supply chains start to catch back up. We're going to reopen our service counters for seafood and deli. So they're starting to loosen as many restrictions as they can. But that's about it.
Cool. And then Sarah, there was a question on the Facebook group from somebody asking if there was going to be an Orange County MRE drop off, because it seemed like there's only a few counties covered. And I don't know that the need isn't Orange County is as big as it is in like Rutland and things like that, but
I haven't heard anything about that. But I can certainly ask. You know, I think the indications that we're hearing from food shelves around the area are that they're not being as heavily taxed as we might have expected.
Yeah, I was thinking.
This is Linda.
Yeah.
So Sheriff Bonyak out of the Orange County Sheriff's Office has been involved in the Washington group and was actually just asking our Randolph group about this. And I think he's connected with that, at least for the Randolph portion. And we just heard from Clara Martin. Okay. We just heard from Clara Martin Center that they are seeing an increase in needs around food access for their clients. I don't know if that extends to the Bradford area or primarily around the Randolph area, but in the Randolph area, they're seeing an increase.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Linda. Okay, so medical, pharmacy, mental, Ayla? Oh yeah, Ayla's on.
Hi, sorry about that. My connection might be a little bit poor.
No, you're all good.
Okay. Yeah, so as far as medical, update from Danielle at Clara Martin was that really things are kind of holding steady. They're switching gears a little bit, I think, like all of us are in the medical field right now, just looking forward to after May 15th and what that looks like and kind of long-term planning. We're certainly focusing on that at Little Rivers. We will be reopening the East Corinth Clinic tentatively next week. Ashley, can you confirm that? I think that was my understanding. Yes.
Yes, but it's not reopening. It's like very restricted opening. So yeah, we're still doing everything until a visit, but there will be a provider on staff and we'll have acute visits and things like that.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, continue to minimize visits in the clinic as much as possible. And I think that's really it. Other than that, there wasn't much else that came out of the meeting on Monday.
Cool. Michael, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Our behavioral health department, as well as Clara Martin Center in Bradford, is seeing an uptick in behavioral health referrals. Just throwing that out there.
Okay. Oh, I might piggyback on that. Sorry, real quick, Monique. Okay. We are in the process of creating that that directory with wellness practitioners. We're hoping to get it out either today or tomorrow. So I'll send that to you if we can get it on some listservs and whatever other public postings we have, just virtual offerings of different wellness providers.
Cool. Thanks, Ed. And yeah, Mike, a heads up.
I don't know if this
go ahead. Go ahead, Ashley.
Sorry, this is kind of a part of Ayla and Mike and Gail and everyone. Basically.
Yep, you're muted.
Sorry. We're going to be offering a virtual Teen Speak platform. So a place where teens in our community can get together virtually and talk about some of the challenges they may be experiencing, maybe some successes, things that they hope to see coming out of this, and then support and resource connections. So I'm going to be working with a couple of folks in the community, including Clara Martin Center and our behavioral health team, to offer this and really give a really strong support for teens starting next. It will be on Thursdays, 2 to 3, I believe, or 2:30 to 3:30, but it's going to be Thursdays, 2 to 3-ish. And yeah, let your teens know, or any teens you might be connected with. We're not going to confine this to a certain school or anything. We are trying to really focus on teens who are around 8th to 12th grade, so not getting too young, no like elementary at this point.
Cool. And actually, are you sending that out to the schools so they can help? Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're gonna have a Zoom meeting as a team, just kind of pinpoint exactly the times and everything, but we'll send that out to all the groups to try to spread the word.
Cool. And Mike, a heads up, for our statewide kind of community organizer advisory calls that we have on every week on Fridays, each week we showcase like 4 or 5 topics of somebody walking through a specific thing to like help communities. And so I gave your name first if we do like a mental health spotlight, which I think just getting towns to think about mental health services. So you might get pinged for that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Erin, business financial.
The only thing I would report is that the business directory on the town COVID page isn't really being updated by the businesses themselves. And that may be important to them coming up as more are now offering curbside and, you know, releasing some of their limitations. But I don't know if that's should be a participatory thing from the businesses or if we should make that an effort of our task force. So I guess that might be a question I'm posing, or we could just meet as a subgroup and decide. But the resource is there, it's just not being utilized.
We do have a Bradford Business Association meeting on Tuesday morning. And I think Sarah Pushy's on this call too. So it might just be a good topic for that meeting too, to ask business to update.
And then you could let us know if we should do something after that, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. And
yeah, I think we can, let's put that on the.
Cool.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
We could go ahead and put that on the agenda. Like that's certainly just a reminder. People probably just need a reminder to go back and do it. Something new, something they have maybe done it once. You just gotta kind of keep pushing them to do it.
Cool. And now that I was realizing, I think it's probably confusing at this point to have both the provide a business and then update the directory buttons on the website. And I think I might just, since the form is the spreadsheet is editable, just take the form down and just make the spreadsheet editable and just have a button for the spreadsheet, if that makes sense, Erin. So I'll just.
Yeah, whatever's the simplest for the users, I think.
Yeah, I think it's too confusing to have two now. it made sense at the beginning, but now that it's populated.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Brian or Marvin, did you guys have anything additional? Or Patty? Is Patty? Yeah, Patty's still on.
I don't have any.
Okay. Patty, did you want to share, or I can I have your email too that you sent me. Oh, there you are.
Monique?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, just what I mentioned, I'm headed out, but just we are still accepting PPP loan applications. Luckily, we don't have as many this time, so it means a lot of our customers got in on the first round, but we are still accepting them. And I think, what did I say, 43 as of this morning. So we are getting them still. So we are still processing them.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, that's all I got, and I'm headed out. Thank
all right,
you.
Thanks. Marvin,
Yeah,
did you have anything else you wanted to add? Muted. All right.
Can I just add one thing about PPE? So Little Rivers continues to accept masks that are being donated by the community, and those donations can still be going to the Buzz. And we greatly appreciate all the donations. But I have been hearing from a couple of organizations that they also are in need. One of them in particular, well, Stagecoach is looking for extra masks, and N95s, though they recognize.
I was going to say, yeah, not just cloth masks, yeah.
Not just cloth masks, but I know that N95s kind of primarily are first going to the healthcare workers, but certainly any excess that people happen to come across. However, Council on Aging and Assisted Living, they are also looking for donations, and Council on Aging really needs about 30 to 60 at this point, which seems kind of like a reasonable ask. And so we are collecting, we're going to continue to collect at the Buzz, but if you want to like label, or if you want to tell people they can label their masks if they want it to go to a specific place, we're happy to help make that connection.
Cool. Thanks. And yeah, additionally, the Orangey Senior Center needs about 35 more masks, I think, Carol.
actually, I think we're down to like 10 or 15.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
But yeah.
Good. Okay, cool.
I have a batch that Louise made that I was gonna deliver to the senior center. So
cool.
I don't know whether maybe there are more there than they need, but so I guess I'll just get them to the buzz and then they can figure out from there.
Those were counted in what the senior center is expecting.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, I had emailed Louise. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, Carol Freeman, do you want to just keep continuing with the senior and adult updates?
Yeah, the request for masks was the main thing from the senior center. Kate had checked around with all of the the smaller community care homes, and everyone seems to be doing okay. I think the long term, that's a concern for being able to maintain staff in particular. Margaret Pratt is doing very well with staff. They have only had one staff member leave over concerns for the virus. So that stability is really good for the community. They're pretty much fully staffed, and they have one opening in memory care for one male patient because they're two bedroom units. Otherwise, they're full, but everybody seems to be hanging in there. So that's pretty good news. And I think that's about it for the update.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I know Marianne's not on today, so let's go to schools and youth. Bruce?
We don't really have anything new, although Daniela, maybe you want to talk about upcoming meetings, legislature, whatever, but nothing new from our operational point of view.
So I can provide a basic update. I did testify last Friday to the House Education Committee and the Ways and Means Committee about where we are in our process and trying to figure out where we need to go in the budgeting process. You know, the big concern is in my opinion, is trying to create a level playing field for all of the children in our state. So there's several districts that have already voted on their budget and obviously voted budgets through pre-COVID-19. And so now there's approximately 19 districts that have no passed budget, and obviously the constraints on our budget is significantly different than those that have already voted. So we're trying to figure out how to take that into consideration, but also make sure that we have the ability to continue to operate on a level playing field for the students and staff in our communities. So right now there seems to be sort of two paths forward. One, the Senate had put forward an option that if we don't have a vote by June 30th, that we would be given the authorization to spend up to our last year's budgeted amount. So we would be level funded instead of 87%. Even with that number, it would require approximately $1 million cut in our current budget that we've proposed, which is pretty harsh. That doesn't mean that we wouldn't eventually be able to vote, but basically they're saying if there isn't a passed budget, that's what they would be able to offer us as far as the Senate goes. The House was looking at the option of being able to provide the board the opportunity to basically enact or authorize a budget that is equal to or less than the number that we warned, so that if we aren't able to vote by June 30th, that we as a board could make the motion and pass the budget to allow us to move forward in the state to plan on those funds. That budget number would have to be either the exact number that we warned already or less than that number. And you know, that's very unconventional, and as a, you know, we have not met as a board, but just by doing quick emails, we all would prefer to have a community vote, obviously. So we're trying to meet within the next week to figure out what our path is forward, because there was new procedures that were released just the beginning of this week as far as being able to do some voting. And so we're going to try and get together within the next week and figure out what those procedures are and whether or not that gives us a path forward to be able to warn a vote and have some actual conversations about our budget.
Awesome. Thanks, Danielle.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask me on this platform, or certainly you can email me. It's complicated.
Cool. Gail? Do you have anything you want to add?
Yes, I do. Hi. So I'm finalizing plans to open up for curbside circulation of materials on Cinco de Mayo on Tuesday. So I'll probably post that hopefully tonight or tomorrow. And I know people are waiting for that to happen. So I'm pretty excited, a little nervous. And the staff has all completed the mandatory test. And we just have to make sure we have enough materials and logistics to quarantine everything and make it all work. That's
Cool.
it.
Thanks, Gail. Nancy, did you have anything you wanted to add from mentoring project or anything?
I just want to add that I'm seeing now more food insecurity and more people needing food, and also I have a dad who's still waiting to hear from unemployment. He hasn't received anything yet except for the governor's check. That's it.
Thanks, Nancy. Is Carol Taylor on?
I have nothing new to report.
Okay, thanks, Carol. I know Rob keeps trying to call me, so I'll just get an update from Rob, and we'll just put it in the minutes that Aaron has been sending out. Housing, heating, Marcy?
I don't have too much to report. I have a personal positive thing. One of my tenants who's been in the food service role, her employer paid for this month's rent as a thank you. So I thought that was a really nice thing that happened. And I also started thinking, and I haven't done anything yet, is that I should be looking beyond rentals to people who own homes, because I think they may actually have more long-term difficulties if they own businesses that are not getting helped from all the support programs. So if that makes sense to other people, I would start to look into that aspect of it. And then one last thing, going back, because I don't like to interrupt people. My daughter's making a few masks, and I don't get downtown in time to go to the Buzz, so I've been leaving them at the Bliss and asking them to get it over to the Buzz. Is that okay?
Yeah, Marcy, I think actually I was in the Bliss just the other day, and Mark said he had a bag that was marked for Little River, so I brought it over the Buzz and just told him that Little River stuff goes there. So he said from that point on he was just gonna walk it over. He just didn't know where to bring them. So
okay,
that's totally fine.
And along those lines, she doesn't have any materials, so she's been getting materials from Dr. Connolly's wife.
Mm-hmm.
So she can only make them for Little Rivers. I don't know if there's another source of materials. If there is, if you could let me know that, she would be happy to do that.
Cool.
I have plenty of material, but no elastic.
Yeah, everybody's out of elastic again.
We have a little elastic, so if you want.
I've been using, I cut up a pair of tights, and it's better than elastic.
She actually makes strings.
Yeah, okay.
And those, some people really prefer because their ears are bothered by elastic. So she can make some things with strings, but she doesn't really have any material.
Cool. So Sarah and Marcy, can you guys connect on
Oh
material?
yeah.
Sarah?
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
All right.
Cool. Awesome. Linda, did you have anything additional you wanted to add?
Yeah, regarding housing, we're going to start examining how we transition people who are currently staying in the hotels who are homeless. The idea would be to try to figure out ways to transition them into permanent housing if possible. The shelter systems will not be able to take people in the same way that they were able to take them before, just being able to deal with the social distancing. So that's potentially going to be a struggle coming up. So if anybody has ideas, the Continuum of Care would be thrilled to hear them. I don't know how many people we're looking at for the Bradford area, but I can try to figure that out. And maybe if you had an idea of how many people, we might be able to figure out how many apartments we might be able to search out for them. Other than that, right now our prevention funds are pretty well done for the HOP program, but we can still provide housing counseling. It may be that we can get some money shifted, but we're not sure yet. So basically until the end of June, we may have limited financial assistance unless we can get money into the Two Rivers Community Fund. Right now, I think we've got about $100, so that's not going to go very far. So whatever we can do to boost that would be great. As far as fuel assistance goes, they did extend it to the end of the month, which is tomorrow. There may be some additional funds coming down for utility assistance, but we don't know what that's going to look like or who it can help yet. So if you have somebody who's struggling with energy assistance, they can give us a call. We'll do our best to help them brainstorm. And if it's not something we can help with financially, hopefully we can find somebody else who can.
Cool, thanks, Linda. And by the way, I was on a call yesterday with Bethany Fleischman from Vital Communities, and she was saying that they've been seeing people from the Upper Valley, like community organizer piece, not the Upper Valley Strong, but there's like a grassroots effort. And she was saying people were asking where to like donate stimulus checks and things like that. So I sent her the letter because she wasn't aware of the fund. So hopefully maybe that'll
fantastic.
Something.
Okay. And were you able to send it out to this group yet?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, totally. Transportation, hold on. So Mike said, yeah, just what Ashley had mentioned earlier about they need masks, but they're fine on cloth masks. But if anybody has an outlet to N95, it's mostly for people who need to assist people in wheelchairs, so need to get kind of right up in their face to be able to support them. So they need a little bit better protection than the cloth masks. So they're starting to think about what it's going to take for reopening, and they've been doing, he said they saw a surge at the end of last week where it had been like 4 kind of rides a day, and then on the end of last week it was bumping up to 10 to 12 rides. So they're not sure if that was just a blip or people getting stimulus checks and needing to go to the store or what it was. So they're just kind of keeping an eye. If anybody, he kind of wanted to be looped into any discussions. Marvin and Aaron stuff, maybe for the chamber, he wanted to be looped in discussions on how businesses were looking ahead and as they start to open, if there were going to be needs for Stagecoach. And I also mentioned to him that there were some people asking for rides to the grocery store, which we're not going to put our volunteers kind of in a position to be in a car with somebody, but that we're just referring people to Stagecoach, because Stagecoach will go and actually pick people up and bring them to the store. So yeah. I think that's it. Any like general stuff? Yeah, Marcia. Nope. Oh yeah. Oh, there we go. Yep.
Yeah. Someone mentioned elastic. I was able to find a supply on Amazon, but if you're really in a tight bind, you just let me know and I'll cut some of mine for you.
The other thing, I think Nancy mentioned food insecurity. Please, if you are aware of any family in need, you can just contact me and I'll make sure that the food shelf contacts them directly. Now we've got pretty empty shelves as of last night, but a big order from the food bank will be coming in on Monday, which should alleviate that. But as soon as we get in fresh produce, eggs, milk, mayonnaise, pretty much any dairy product except cheese, we run out within a day, maybe two. So I'm just, putting that out there. Looking down the line, we're thinking that we're going to start getting shortage on meat, which is no surprise. So that's my update.
Thanks, Marcia. So I know a couple weeks ago, it seemed like you guys were actually not seeing as many people at the food shelf. So it's increasing?
Yeah, what we did, we went through the list and we began calling everyone who used to come at least once a month and hadn't been. And most of them had assumed we weren't open regardless of the sign out front of the BA. But again, some people new to food insecurity may not be aware that they can just come see us. So like I said, if you hear of anyone, please let me know.
Okay, thanks, Marcia. Carol Freeman, yeah.
Yeah, if you have clients, I know you're taking clients from Corinth and Topsom, and if you're low on food, refer them to Kellyanne Donahue because the Corinth Topsom food shelf is pretty well stocked.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, we are aware, and we may very well do that, but so far we haven't needed to. When you say they're well stocked, do you know, is it from A to Z, diapers to ice cream, or is it just staples? What kind of things do they have?
Yeah, my understanding was that it's A to Z, but really check with Kelly to be sure because it's a moving target. But they've been getting a lot of eggs and a lot of staples, and they had a big food shelf delivery from the food shelf, so the food bank.
Cool. And just to put it out there, I don't know if I said this before, but the Upper Valley Haven, I've been talking with Amber Johnson, and she said just to remind everybody that the Haven can serve people as well, cooked meals, and so all they need to do is really get in touch with the Haven. They don't need to be staying there or anything like that. So just a reminder, it's a resource.
Also, if there are seniors who are in need of food, refer them to the senior center because we can do Meals on Wheels much more liberally than in the past.
Awesome. Cool. Anything else anybody has? Cool. So as part of the formal town piece of this, we're gonna roll into that. So one thing is there's a number of people who are willing to be commissioners. We need to have 3 to 7. We have 7 right now. I actually have 8. So I have on the list me, Justina, Ashleen, Patty, Brian, Marcy, Nancy, and then Marcia also offered. But anybody, I don't know if anybody else would like to do that, more than welcome, and anybody can stay on for this next piece, but if anybody would like to be appointed and take part in, approving minutes and that kind of stuff, it'd be great to have you. But, so is there anybody I missed that wants to raise their hand or speak up? All right, cool. And I just assume everybody's good with the list of people. Marcia, Ted, I think, did we make alternates? I think we made like 2 alternates. I could just have.
Yeah, I truthfully, I don't remember if we said 2 or 3 alternates, but
Okay,
if I remember correctly, and I apologize, I can't remember this. We said, I think not fewer than 3 and not more than 7 members, and 2 or 3 alternates.
Okay, cool.
And just remember, for those who decide they want to participate in this, you'll need to fill out a I forget what it's called, application to be appointed or something like that. And the select board will have to formally appoint people, but it's all a pretty simple procedure.
Cool. Thanks, Ted.
And it can all be done. It can be done online, so you don't have to stop by the BA building personally.
Awesome. Is that just the same PDF form that's on the website that's been used in the past, or is there?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so for everybody I just called out, I will get you a form. And otherwise, like, we're not formal yet, so we can't really vote to approve minutes or do any of that other stuff. But I would say for that group, so we'll get you the form so you can be submitted to the select board for appointment. And then little things like, big things, but bylaws and that kind of stuff. So I drafted up something, so I'll just send it out to this group for just to start thinking about it. We can't really take any formal motions till everybody's appointed, but just to get that piece going, and finances and things like that. So
Monique?
Yeah.
I have that form saved on my computer, but I can't remember the name of the group that I'm joining.
Yeah, that's fine.
What's our formal name? What's our formal name?
Bradford Resilience. I think I have it
Thank you.
Maybe as an editable PDF that I made.
I have it as a Word document.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, if you want to just send it to me, Nancy, I'll send it out to everybody. Cool. I think, does anybody else have anything else they want to add? Otherwise, we'll just do this again next week. In the meantime, we'll just communicate with that group as well on just the formal stuff.
If people are looking,
yeah, go ahead, Ted.
I was going to say, if people are looking for just a little tiny bit of a glimmer of hope, and this is embarrassing to me, but yesterday I stopped by Hannaford's. I forgot my mask. I'd say 90% of the people in the store had masks, and several people politely but firmly asked me why I don't have one and reminded me that we need masks. So I'm glad to see that that really is, it's becoming the norm. And when somebody shows up without one, nobody's rude, nobody's nasty about it, but they're politely reminding people. And I thought that was good. And I got out of the store as quick as I could.
That's good. I forgot mine on my last 2 walks and felt super guilty. One other thing, Ryan and Ted, and anybody else wants to, so the local community organizer call that's like Bradford, Newbury, West Fairleigh, Topsom, First Year, Reigate, Groton, Chelsea, something, is a whole meeting tonight, 5:30 to 6:30. So we're just going to do kind of like this call, since there's now 40 people, I think, on that call. I'm just going to do point people from each town just to like share updates. And then we'll just do general discussion. But Ted, do you want to be the person reporting out for Bradford? Do you want me to do it, Ryan, or good, whatever?
if you wouldn't mind, that'd be fine. I plan to be there, but I do have several things going on this afternoon, so I might not be able to make it.
Yeah, no problem. So it's just there. Cool. Awesome. So yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you next week.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, Monique?
Yeah.
What time was that meeting, just for the minutes tonight?
Yeah, 5:30 to 6:30.
And on Zoom?
Yeah, and it's every other Wednesday.
5:30 to 6:30 every other Wednesday. Okay, thank you.
Cool. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.